The Defiance of Heaven, The Legend of Sun Wukong, The Stone's Awakening. In the eastern reaches of the world, where the mists curled like dragons and the rivers sang ancient songs, there stood a mountain known as Huaguo Shan, the mountain of flowers and fruit. Its peaks pierced the clouds, and its valleys teemed with life, but none of its wonders compared to the stone that rested at its summit. This was no ordinary rock. For millennia, it had stood sentinel, bathed in the light of the sun, and the glow of the moon, absorbing the essence of creation itself. The winds whispered secrets to it, the rains carved blessings into its surface, and the earth trembled in anticipation of what slept within. Then, on a day when the heavens themselves seemed to hold their breath, the stone moved. A crack split its surface, golden light spilling forth like liquid fire. Then, boom! The stone exploded, and from its heart sprang a figure unlike any other. A monkey, but not merely a monkey. His fur shimmered like molten gold, his eyes blazed with the fury of twin suns, and when he stretched his limbs, the very air trembled. He was born laughing. The creatures of Huaguo Shan gathered in awe as the newborn monkey leaped and tumbled, his very presence radiating power. He drank from the sacred springs, ate the enchanted fruits, and when he roared, the mountain itself seemed to answer. The monkeys of the mountain bowed before him, sensing his destiny. And so, without a single challenge, he became their king. The Cave of Water curtains for years. Wukong ruled in bliss, leading his tribe in games and feasts. But one day, as they played by a thundering waterfall, an elder monkey sighed. "This waterfall hides a mystery," he said. "None dare pass through its veil, for none know what lies beyond." Wukong's eyes gleamed. "Then I shall be the first." With a mighty leap, he plunged through the crashing waters and discovered a hidden paradise, a cavern of glittering crystals, where jade bridges arched over silver streams and peach trees heavy with immortality. Fruit swayed in an unfelt breeze. It was a palace fit for a king. The monkeys followed, gasping in wonder. "This shall be our kingdom," Wukong declared, "and I shall be your true ruler, the Monkey King." But as the years passed, a shadow crept into Wukong's heart. He watched as his subjects grew old, as sickness took them, as death claimed even the strongest. "Why must we fade?" he demanded of the heavens. "I will not bow to such a fate." The quest for immortality. Leaving his kingdom behind, Wukong sailed across stormy seas, climbed jagged peaks, and crossed deserts of burning sand, seeking the secrets of eternal life. At last he found the hermit sage Subhuti, a master of celestial arts hidden deep within the mountains. For 10 years Wukong served him, mastering the 72 transformations, learning to ride the clouds and honing his mind as sharply as his claws. He could become a towering giant or a speck of dust, summon clones of himself, and even command the wind and rain. But when Wukong recklessly showed off his powers to his fellow disciples, Subhuti's eyes darkened. "A heart like yours, brimming with pride, will bring only ruin," the sage said. "Go, and never speak my name again." Cast out but undaunted, Wukong returned to Huaguo Shan, only to find his kingdom under siege by a demon lord. With a roar, he summoned his magic, multiplying into an army of himself, each wielding a staff of lightning. The demons fell like autumn leaves, and Wukong's legend grew. The dragon's wrath and the iron staff still, Wukong lacked a weapon worthy of his might. "The dragon kings of the 4 seas hoard treasures beyond mortal dreams," whispered a wise old monkey. With a grin, Wukong plunged into the eastern sea, his presence sending tidal waves crashing. The dragon king, trembling, offered swords, spears, halberds, but all shattered in Wukong's grip. Then the dragon's wife whispered of an ancient pillar, a relic from the creation of the world, so heavy none could lift it. The Ruyi Jingu Bang, the compliant golden-hooped rod. Wukong's fingers curled around the massive pillar. "Smaller," he commanded, and it shrank to the size of a needle. "Larger." and it stretched to the heavens. Laughing, he twirled it like a windmill, shaking the ocean floor. The dragons begged him to leave, and Wukong, now armed with a weapon that obeyed his will, returned to his mountain in triumph. The first war with heaven. The Dragon King and the Lords of Death, furious at Wukong's audacity, petitioned the Jade Emperor. "This monkey is a menace," they cried. "He erased his name from the Book of Death. He stole sacred treasures." The Jade Emperor, wise but cautious, sought to avoid war. "Let us give him a title," he decreed, "a petty position to placate him." And so Wukong was named Keeper of the Heavenly Horses, a glorified stable boy. At first, Wukong reveled in his celestial title, tending the steeds with pride. But when he learned the truth, that he had been tricked, mocked, his rage shook the clouds. "You dare make a fool of the great sage equal to heaven?" he roared. With a single swing of his staff, he shattered the gates of the celestial stables, releasing 10,000 heavenly horses in a stampede that sent stars tumbling from the sky. Then, laughing, he stormed back to Waguoshan, declaring himself a sovereign king beyond heaven's rule. The Great Siege. The Jade Emperor had no choice. He sent his mightiest warriors, the heavenly generals, the stars of the north, even the fierce Erlang Shen, the god of war with his third eye that saw through all illusions. The battle that followed was cataclysmic. Wukong fought with the fury of 1,000 storms. He grew to the size of a mountain, crushing armies beneath his feet. He plucked hairs from his body, blowing them into an army of clones, each as deadly as the original. When Erlang Shen matched him shape for shape, beast, bird, fish, Wukong tricked him by transforming into a temple, his tail becoming a flagpole. But the gods fought dirty. The Queen Mother's sacred phoenix clawed at his eyes. The thunder gods bombarded him with lightning. And finally, Laozi, the Supreme Elder, hurled his diamond snare from the heavens, striking Wukong's skull and sending him crashing to the earth. The immortal's punishment. Yet even bound in celestial chains, Wukong could not be killed. He had eaten the peaches of immortality, drunk the elixir of life, and defied the cycle of death itself. Furious, the gods tried to burn him in Laozi's furnace. But after 49 days, Wukong emerged stronger, his eyes now ablaze with the power to see through all deception. "Is that all you have?" he taunted. Only the Buddha himself could end the rebellion. The Buddha's gambit. "You claim to be the great sage equal to heaven?" the Buddha asked, his voice like distant thunder. "Then leap from my palm. If you escape, heaven is yours." Wukong scoffed. With one mighty somersault, he soared across the sky, past the sun and moon, until he saw 5 pillars at the edge of creation. "I shall mark my victory," he declared, scratching his name into one. Then, with a laugh, he returned, only to find the Buddha's fingers still outstretched. The pillars had been the Buddha's own hand. Before Wukong could react, the Buddha's palm became a mountain, crushing him beneath its weight. For 500 years he lay imprisoned, the weight of heaven itself upon his back. The unbroken king. Yet even in defeat, Wukong's legend endured. He had done what none before him dared. He had fought the gods, stolen their secrets, and laughed in the face of divine punishment. The lesson was clear. Heaven was not invincible. The gods could be challenged. The natural order could be defied. And though Wukong lost, his rebellion proved that even the highest thrones could tremble before the will of one who refused to kneel. And so, beneath the mountain, the Monkey King waited, not as a prisoner, but as a storm biding its time. For legends like his never truly end.